Memphis, welcome to the 901 check-in, where unfiltered conversations in Memphis meets. I am your host, Willie Stroker, and for today's topic, we'll be discussing a problem everyone sees, but no one talks about, which is, drum roll please, Memphis segregation and the school system. Now, when we think segregation, we think that crap was so long ago. But honestly, segregation wasn't all that long ago. It officially ended with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which was only 58 years ago. And even with that act now in place, it didn't stop the efforts to keep whites and minorities separated, with discriminatory practices like redlining, not approving blacks for loans for white neighborhoods, and terrorist groups like the KKK terrorizing black folks to disencourage them to move into white neighborhoods. You can still see segregation today. In fact, Memphis is in the top 20 most segregated cities in America, according to the University of California, Berkeley. And that segregation has an effect on our school system. Because Memphis is still pretty much segregated between predominantly white and predominantly black neighborhoods with a sprinkle of mixed communities, it creates room for segregated schools as well. On average, white communities has 15 times more wealth than black communities, and with that comes a better quality education for predominantly white schools than predominantly black schools. In addition to wealth and resources, public schools are funded by property taxes. And that white neighborhood has houses selling for $500,000, and that black neighborhood has houses selling for $80,000. You do the math, and if you can't, I'll do it for you. White schools have better funding. Now, with wealth, resources, and better funding, it's easy to see who's more likely to have a better quality education. But just for you, we're going to look at a few examples right here in Memphis. Starting first with Carterville High School in Carterville, Tennessee, a rich white suburbs near Memphis, Tennessee, with houses averaging a cost of $500,000. This high school is predominantly white, having a racial makeup of 59.3% white, 18.6% black, 12.3% Asian, 6.1% Hispanic, and 3.4% other, according to the U.S. News. So let's take a look at what Carterville has to offer. According to their site, they offer so many athletics. This long list includes varsity trap shooting, varsity unified track and field, men's varsity baseball, men's varsity basketball, men's varsity bowling, men's varsity football, men's varsity golf, men's varsity lacrosse, men's varsity mountain biking, men's varsity soccer, men's varsity tennis, men's varsity track and field, men's varsity wrestling, men's varsity basketball, women's varsity competitive cheer, women's varsity competitive dance, women's varsity golf, women's varsity lacrosse, women's varsity soccer, women's varsity softball, women's varsity tennis, women's varsity track and field, women's varsity volleyball, and women's varsity wrestling. Damn, that was a long list. Now, let's get to looking at their academics, shall we? According to their website, they offer a lot of academic programs, including the Honors Diploma Program, the 30 and Above Program, the Beta Club, the Alpha Alpha Theta, National Honor Society, dual enrollment classes, and AP Advancement Placement Programs. I'm not sure if this is a high school or a college, but as you can see, this predominantly white high school has a lot to offer their students. Now let's head over to Orange Mound, which is the blackest neighborhood in Memphis, Tennessee, according to Mosh Memphis. The average house costs about $90,000 in Orange Mound. So let's take a look at Melrose High, a predominantly black high school in Orange Mound. Their racial makeup consists of 89.7% black, 6.8% Hispanic, and 2.3% other. So, let's take a look at what Melrose High has to offer their students. First, let's take a look at athletics. According to their site, they offer baseball, basketball for boys, basketball for girls, cheer, football, Golden Girls Dance Team, softball, track and field for boys, track and field for girls, and volleyball. A lot shorter than the previous school, huh? And as far as academics, they only offer an honors program. As you can see, there's a drastic difference between predominantly white and predominantly black schools. Shall we address the naysayers in the room? Well, how is it that we're segregated segregated at Carterville High when our principal is black and we have black students? Huh? We had a black president. Did racism disappear? No. There's an obvious difference between Carterville High, a predominantly white school, and Melrose High, a predominantly black school. And there's no denying that. Next! We are in a part of an entirely different school district. We don't have anything to do with Shelby County. Ah, yes. Let's discuss this. Once upon a time, all schools were a part of one school district, Shelby County Schools. It wasn't until well-off communities like Carterville decided to form their own school district. In 2014, Carterville was the first to break away from Shelby County Schools and form their own school district, Carterville Schools, which enabled them to pull all of their money into their students only and fund their community, raising their property taxes and funding only Carterville schools. As you can see, this effort has helped contribute to the segregation in the Memphis school system, and other well-off communities doing the same thing isn't helping this problem at all.
So viewers, you have all the facts laid in front of you. It's up to you what you're going to do with this information. So Memphis, what are you going to do?